Representing our Hamp division, entry number 941, Sarah Watkins, Jeff Davis Parish. Representing our Yorkshire division, entry number 911, Carly Fontenot, Jeff Davis Parish. Representing our Duroc division, entry number 812, Grant Rockoff, Calcasieu Parish. Representing our AOB division, entry 494, Jacob Hassan, Calcasieu Parish. Representing our Cross division, entry 145, Wesley Hayes, Allen Parish. And representing our Barrow division, entry 906, Lindsay Priola, Jeff Davis Parish. Let's give all these youngsters a big round of applause as they vie for our championship. Also like to let everyone know that the Grand Champion Louisiana Bred and Reserve Champion Louisiana Bred will receive a plaque in memory of Mr. Philip Dugas, as well as the Grand Champion receiving $700 and the Reserve Champion receiving $300.
Once again, I'd like to thank all of you for inviting me over here. Over probably the past 4 years, I've had the opportunity to just keep coming back yearly and yearly and yearly. My first breakthrough to come over to this state was right here in this area. I got to come and judge the Jingle Bell Jamboree and then so on and so forth. And I've been as far over as Acadiana and done their district show and went back this year, been back twice to see you guys and see them in St. Martin. And every time it's a wonderful experience. Everybody's got such a positive attitude and a great outlook on things, and the kids are great as well. You know, I certainly enjoyed them. But more than anything, at this time, I'd like for all of us to put our hands together for the folks that put on this show. They did a great job. They entertained me. They did a wonderful job of making sure everything stayed organized and so on and so forth. And that gets to be a hard thing to do, is have an organized livestock show and keep it all put together. And they do an awesome job. So thank you all for y'all's help and your efforts. All week it's been a rough week in terms of weather as well. You know, and to the kids, I want to thank every one of you that came through this ring and all the rings that I was in this week. I want to thank you for that, and rest assured that I appreciate your presence here, and more than anything, I try to tell kids and parents too at the same time. You know, so many times we get so caught up in the color of the ribbon that we received and so on and so forth, and that's not what it's all about. It's what we do with these children and the amount of time that we spend with them and the family behind it. The time you spend with your kids and your kids spend with you, you're raising them, you're making them better kids. And I can assure you, if you'll start paying attention to this and you look about across society today and look what the modern youth is dressing like, how they act, how they communicate, and then you take a moment and notice how these kids look. They're very professional. They're all clean cut. They're very, very respectful. They're better than any other group of kids in this country. And that's very, very important. So don't worry about the color of the ribbon that you receive, but know that you're going to go on in life and be a notch more successful than any other group of children out there. And I can assure you that is true. There needs to be more of you. The hog show is great, and the hogs that we have in the ring, I won't revisit every one of them, but I think that they're all really, really good in terms of driving at you. They're all good in terms of muscle. They're sound enough in their own kind and their own rights. The one I'm going to go ahead and land on is one that I feel, as a breeder, as a spectator, and as a judge, all champions need to be those hogs that are probably the most difficult to duplicate in terms of making them extra stout featured, in terms of their foot and bone size, making them neat in their front end, making them absolutely perfect in their rib, making them great in that top shape. This one's extra popular in that regard. This one's extra sound. The young man's crossbred.
Grand Champion Market Hog, entry 145, Wesley Hayes from Allen Parish. We now need to come in with Yemi Fontenot, entry 9.
As we get out here and talk about our reserve champion of the show here today, it gets really, really close in my mind between two particular hogs. The young ladies, dark cross that was reserved to our grand, and then the young ladies blue buck barrow here is one that you certainly appreciate. I think that they're very similar in terms of their type and kind. When you go to measuring them up, coming and going, they're equal in those regards, and so on and so forth. I think that the biggest difference between the two is the one I'm going to pick. It probably complements the one thing I'd like to fix about our champion of the show, and she is definitely, without question, better in her front end in terms of where she's at in her toes and how she handled those. Young lady, you'll be reserved. As we get our pot right for champion Louisiana bred, and you cast your eyes out here amongst these hogs are as competitive and could win in a lot of rings without question on their own right. Had a little excitement there for a second. The one I'm going to go ahead and land on was one that I thought would come out of a really, really difficult, challenging division, one that I thought was really, really attractive, tall fronted, sound structured. The young man's blue buck barrow out here being the champion of the
Grand champion Louisiana bred goes to David Kershaw from our barrow division.
In my mind, as we come out here, we have 5 hogs once again that are really, really nice. You like the width and the power of the Yorkshire. I'd simply like to make that one a notch more flexible than what it is out here. The young lady's red belted hog one, you really, really like that one in terms of being popular in her top shape, really powerful from behind, has some advantages in terms of being a notch longer in her side. Like to see that one stitched softer in her kind through her center. The young man's Hampshire, wins his class the day before. One you really like for is how attractive she is. We simply have to stouten her up in terms of her foot and bone size and add a notch more outward curvature. And then you have the young man's barrow that comes in here today. This guy had a really, really nice day, and that's a good made, good design one. And your Duroc Guild here one, you love the front two-thirds of her. She's really, really good there in terms of her center body. She's powerful up front. She's that spine set down deep inside of her. She's really stout when you do her from behind. I'd like to see her track away from me just with a notch more power. The young man's Duroc barrow will be the reserve of the driver.
Reserve champion Louisiana bred Market Hog goes to Daniel LeBlue from the barrow division in Calcasieu Parish. The show for today, we once again like to those that are planning on going to state, please fill out all the proper paperwork in the Livestock show office. At this time, all market hogs are released from the barn.